17th, Tuesday, day 4 of the quarantine here on In Your Face with Fischer. Going well. First off, want to tell everybody, quarantine means no one in and only out for the essentials. They're telling us now to prepare for a 90-day isolation period. As of now, we have confirmation of the second death, and we've jumped to 30 cases. What they're warning about is Americans are used to a slight, as far as on a graph, a slight raise, but exponential growth. We're going to be having doubling and doubling and doubling and doubling and doubling. And that's where it gets scary. We haven't seen that, but that's what they're expecting. That's what they're saying is going to happen. People, I don't think it's a joke. Like I said yesterday and the day before, you better take this serious because people aren't losing billions of dollars. The Federal Reserve ain't going to get interest rates down to practically zero if something ain't going on. Now, there's different theories of what's going on, but what I don't know what it is. I don't know I wish I did. I would tell you. But something's going on. Whatever it is ain't good. We gave if people that are in need of food, I guess the grocery stores are still pretty bare. Later on, we'll give you the places where the kids can get a lunch. And there's like food pantries everywhere that's open if you can't get the basic needs. I guess people are still hoarding toilet paper, which is ridiculous. But, I just say, hey, bidet in your shower. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I know it's gross, but all the plumbing goes to the same place. So, yeah, we're in it now. 30 now, 2 dead. That's not a lot. I mean, everybody's saying, everybody's panicking, and there's only 30 dead in the state, which is nothing. 2 dead in the state. 30 cases within the state, no big deal. Not scared, gonna go on with life as normal and not gonna make any changes. And that's what I see when I haven't been out, but we had to go get a few essentials today. My wife and Austin, and people are walking around with their babies in carts outside going to the gas station. No one's wearing any protective thing. No one's taking, what I'm seeing out on the street, no one's taking any preventative measures. And that's scary to me. I see kids walking by, 10 in a group, just spending their night at each other's house, and that's not why they're out of school. You know what? You may be young and not as susceptible to this virus, but the thing is that you may not get deathly ill, but we all have loved ones that are old and could have a bad result with this virus right now. But we're going to call Steve today, see what decision he made as far as working. We're going to, of course, give Joe a call, see what's going on. Joe, if you're listening, you can go ahead and call in. I'd like Dustin, who's on our panel when we're not in quarantine, to give us a call, let us know what's going on over there in Porter County. And just keep everybody aware, and then we'll get on something else besides the coronavirus, but I'm sure that's going to be the main topic. Now, it's funny that one of the theories is that this is a bioweapon, which I tend to believe. Do I believe that the Chinese let it out on purpose? No, I just believe that they're very irresponsible. This is the third virus that has leaked out of China. Everything in the last decade has come basically out of China. And I find it funny that they think they can get away with being so negligent and then have the gall to threaten the United States not to give us the medication. And why we're dependent on the Chinese government or China as a whole for our medications is beyond me. I believe President Trump's going to change that, and now that we're the leader in basically production of oil production and natural gas, I believe here shortly we'll be number one in pharmaceutical too, which sometimes is scary, sometimes not. They say they're coming out with a vaccine. If you're like me, I don't trust the vaccines. Do vaccines work? Yeah, they've been proven to work. It's not the vaccine itself, though, that myself and others are afraid of. It's the other things inside the vaccine, which have been proven to be in, as far as mercury and other things. But then again, I'm just a conspiracy theorist, and no one has to listen to me. I just see the facts. I mean, it's funny that you can't sue pharmaceuticals when it comes to the vaccines, but there is a secret court that you can go to and get money if your child or you are harmed or even killed by these vaccines. But anyway, back to China. I tend to believe that this is a bioweapon. I believe that they know that it is, and I think this is something we've never faced before. Our reason I'm stumbling around is Joe's giving us a call right now, so we'll listen to hear from Joe right now. Mr. Joe.
Hey, how's it going?
All right, buddy. We're on the air. How you doing today?
I'm all right. I'm hearing you saying about the vaccine and stuff. I was like, yeah, I'd be kind of... I was like, okay, everybody in the world, line up and take this shot.
Yeah, I mean...
it's just like, I always think of... remember Jim Jones?
Oh, yeah, the Kool-Aid man.
Oh, it's only Kool-Aid. It's only Kool-Aid.
Yeah,
it's not,
Yeah, we got to be real careful what we put in our bodies, especially now, especially with this. I mean, how long it take them to put this together? I mean, they're talking the trials start next week, I believe.
Yeah. And it's like it's not like they haven't injected people with bad stuff in the past.
Our government would never do that.
Syphilis experiment and all that.
Our government would never do that. And you know what, Tuskegee? Forget this Tuskegee. You always bring that up. We did it to Guatemala. Yeah. We did it to different countries.
Yeah, and Africa.
Yeah, we recently in Africa. Check on the Gardasil shot. What that did to a bunch of girls down in Texas.
Yeah, I don't know about Texas. I know in Africa they did it with girls. They said, there's some virus going on. Everybody line up and get these shots, and all the girls were like they were pregnant, were aborting their babies, and having miscarriages. You know what I mean? And a lot of them were sterilized and all kinds of stuff. But they thought this was odd, and actually some priests got together with the stuff in the vaccine and took it in and had it tested, and it was something, intentionally to cause miscarriages and sterilizations and stuff, so.
Well, and that's what we want. And where did these vaccines come from?
Yeah.
I mean, who got, I believe it was the Bill and
the
Melinda,
World Health Organization or whatever,
or the
WHO.
Bill and
The people
Melinda Gates Foundation.
Yeah.
Uh,
Well, this was back before that, I think, but
oh no, this is recent.
the recent ones, yeah.
Thank you, hon.
You know,
Hold on.
and they were talking about, yesterday when I was talking about Bill Gates stepping down, they said that was like at the same time Donald Trump was on there talking with the CDC people, and he goes, we know where this virus came from. And they said, like, within minutes,
well, this
Bill Gates
shot,
was saying, I'm stepping down, and
it caused a ton of blood clots in legs and lungs, and that's a deep vein thrombosis. That's what a blood clot is. But that's just some of the stuff, and these little girls are dying for a disease that human whatever virus. And these kids aren't even
thrombosis. That sounds like something in the high school band gets,
Yes. Yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah, we have our second death now today, and 30 cases, and I know how you are. 30 cases, that ain't nothing.
Yeah.
Still, any word on what your employer's doing as far as being open or closed? Or?
Well, they said they're planning on they're making plans to shut down.
All right. Well, Donald Trump has basically said, I don't know if anybody watched it or gets his tweets, his interview today, or his broadcast today. He said that pretty much the stock market, it's going to maybe not crash, but it's going to go down. But he's assured that it's going to come back up. He's worried about people and death.
I wish he would tell us the moment if they're ready to come back up so I can throw some money in,
Yeah, I wish he could too.
Okay, everybody's getting ready to come back up. If he said that, everybody throw money in, it would shoot up,
So what do you think about we also had to buy the paper for the Federal Reserve to print cash. So what do you think about this, the federal government giving every man and woman $1,000 to get by?
Yeah, I believe that they've stopped the, theft from the cabal, I don't know. I think this whole thing ties in with the money system, you know what I mean? This whole virus and all this and all the arrests and all that, ties in with the money system,
Yeah, I'd like to hear, I tend to believe it. You have your theory on it. I'd like to get some other viewers' theories on it.
Yeah.
If somebody's watching, if they could, or listening, if they could, we have the chat up. If you'd like to type something in or even give us a call, I'm going to put up the number now. So when we get off the phone with Joe, if somebody's interested in calling, they can give us a call. So let me type that in real quick. I know like I said, we're taking precautions. I know a few other people that are taking precautions, but for the most part, I don't see people doing it. And my theory is, if I am overcautious and it's nothing, so be it. Nothing,
Yeah.
I hurt no one. But if I'm not cautious enough and it is something, then, because I'm going to tell you, if somebody here gets it, there is no way to protect yourself. There's just no way to protect yourself. So, I just said, hey, we're going to go on a 30-day quarantine. And, of course, like my wife can't work right now anyway. They shut down her place of employment. And like I said, me being self-employed and getting a business going, kind of hard going right now.
Oh, yeah.
So,
yeah.
And Joe's helped out with that quite a bit. I mean, helping us get things together and go forward with that.
You know, it's like they were saying about the NIPSCO and stuff. Like NIPSCO's not going to shut anybody off and stuff. So I say just, hey, you know, quit paying your NIPSCO bill for a while until, you know.
And you know,
I mean, that's money you can, yeah.
That's
money for what you have to, and then, yeah.
You know, that's something you can use for staples in your home. I mean, I know $200 don't go bad, but it buys bread, it buys milk.
You can buy a lot of staples for.
Well, yeah, you can buy a lot of what.
You can't do much with staples, but yeah, that's right.
But I know we got a few of you conspiracy theorist people out there. I put the phone number on the screen here, but I'll say it out loud. You can write it down: 219-380-9918. 219-380-9918. So what's going on with you, Joe? What are you seeing interesting going on in the world other than this virus?
I don't know.
Nothing?
Just work, man. Just work. I'm burned out.
You are one exciting dude.
Yeah. You know, it's like I'm you know, looking for the shutdown so I can sleep for a couple of days. And
there you go. When are they talking about shutting down? Do you know?
It's like, you know, it's like when I was in the Army, we'd have our runs or whatever. It's like, you know, when you get down to the end, you're sprinting to the finish line. You know what I mean? It's, you know, it's like I see the end. It's like I'm trying to work up as much as I can. And then I can just crash for a couple of days.
For people who don't know it, Joe is a veteran. He, entrepreneur. He also has a regular job. He dabbles in a little bit of everything. So, but he served. And when you served, what exactly was your MOS?
11 Bravo. That's infantry.
And what was your specialty there? You served in Alaska, correct?
Yeah. I was in the alert unit, long range patrol, reconnaissance or surveillance. But it was we got a lot of very interesting schools and stuff. It was a very interesting period.
And a lot of Arctic training.
Yes.
So you were toasty warm.
Like that Seaman Stripes. Where's your commander? Blown up, sir.
Now here's my question: If we go pretty much,
I think with Army training. That's what I was thinking of. Army training. Go ahead.
If we get down to it, like they're putting curfews out now in like New Jersey and New York, where you know, everyone has to be inside your house by 8, and you can't leave your house till like something like 5 o'clock in the morning.
Like San Francisco, they locked the city down.
Yeah. My question is do you see the military getting involved in this if it gets worse? Or if it
National
doesn't?
Guard, yes, National Guard and the Marines.
And the Marines, you see them getting involved?
Yep.
Now, do you believe that this is something where they would fire upon American citizens?
Only if they're trying to pick out a certain group or something that they know is hiding out or something like that, or that they're.
My question.
Yeah, I'm not talking about the virus. So that, like someone's coughing, they're gonna the sniper's gonna pull the trigger.
Well, and I don't believe we're like China. I don't know if you watch some of these videos of these. I don't know if they were policemen or military in China when they would grab people. And believe me, I'm not comparing our military or our police to China, a communist country. But man, they were like dog catchers, getting them with loops around the neck, nets over the head, putting them in these steel boxes in the back of trucks. But if there is a pandemic and people aren't following guidelines and are out and about just walking, do you think that's okay for the government to do?
No. I think a lot that they do is not okay, but
I mean, what measures do you think government can take to, or do you think they shouldn't take any to stop any kind of pandemic? If the numbers, back it up, I'm not saying with 30 cases that we put, we put a curfew out. I think that's asinine. I don't.
See, you and I are coming from different camps. You're talking about one thing. I'm talking about another. I mean, you're talking about to stop the spread of this virus.
And see, and
I'm talking about.
But there's a lot of people. There's other people that are thinking the same way you are, and I'm more on the side that this is a biological weapon, man-made. Every time somebody puts up a report like Institute.
Oh, I think it's man-made.
But you don't think it's a virus. You think it's man-made up. The media's pushing it to be something it's not.
Like, Mother Goose and Dr. Seuss are man-made. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, that's man-made, right?
Yeah.
So, I think this is man-made. You know what I'm saying?
Guys, we want your thoughts, your opinions on this. I know Brian McEwen on last night, he was giving us, another 9/11 to take away our freedoms. And, when they put a curfew out, that's exactly what they're doing. But here's my thing. If the numbers... I mean,
you would think that, like, 9/11 could be man-made, but the virus couldn't be... the whole 9/11 was a story.
It was a whole storyline.
It was an event, but they had a whole story to back it up.
Yeah.
I think that's what we're watching here. This is an event. There's a virus there. There's something there. And there's a story to go along with it. They're pushing a narrative. It's a big tool for them.
And man, I hope you're right.
Yeah, we're watching a war between the good guys and the bad guys, And who started it, I don't know.
Have you heard this? Have you heard this theory that 5G is causing this? Because it causes the same protein that they're looking for when you take this COVID-19 test. Have you heard about this at all?
No, I heard somebody say something about 5G causing this, and I haven't ever even looked into that.
But see, my understanding was our state wasn't allowing...
Yeah, I don't even think they have 5G yet.
My understanding was that Indiana was not allowing 5G until more evidence was in of the effects of 5G. Because, Israel came up with 5G, and they won't even allow it in their country. So it's more of a weapon than it is anything else.
Yeah.
But, go ahead with what your theory is, Joe. And again, I know we're saying stuff at nauseum. We're saying stuff at nauseum, but this is a big deal. You turn on the TV, and this is all that's on.
Yeah.
I do want to get off this topic today a little bit and get into some other stuff. But why don't you share what your opinion is on what's going on and why you think this?
Well, I don't know. Yeah, you were saying that this 5G came up, or Israel came up with 5G and stuff like that. It's kind of interesting because Q was saying we're saving Israel for last. They're gonna clean up. They're gonna drain a swamp. They're saving Israel for last. They didn't say why. But I don't know. it's special, I know that.
All right.
But
And what is going? What do you mean saving them for last? Enlighten us.
I don't know. I know right now, like I said yesterday, that they arrested 298 top officials in Saudi Arabia.
And who arrested them?
Now, that's a big thing.
Yeah, and no, most definitely is a big thing. But then I got off there yesterday, and I said, you know what? Maybe what Joe says has some.
Oh, you know something else too.
But then I'm like, what does the U.S. have to do with Saudi Arabia?
You know something else too. That you said about searching. Something else. People have been reporting that. How things are weighted in Google, and that's why you go to DuckDuckGo, and DuckDuckGo's it's kind of affected too. But people have said that the algorithms have been changed in Google, and a lot of the stuff that you're searching for, it's popping right up to the top.
Oh, really?
And if somebody typed in the Democratic Party,
yeah.
And I saw a screenshot of it. They typed in the Democratic Party, and it's like I don't know, they'll have like a little description at the top on Google, and then they had where normally there's like the red, white, and blue donkey. It was a rat.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Well, there is no doubt that Google is blacklisting certain people, and especially.
Well, they're saying right now they're saying right now it's changed. People were searching for stuff like Pizzagate and things like that, and bang, the stuff you would that like Epstein Island and children and stuff, and all kinds of interesting stuff was popping up.
And what gets me is
that normally wouldn't.
What really fascinates me is when you got something like Epstein, and what's his name from Hollywood. The other guy,
Weinstein.
Yeah,
Harvey Weinstein.
And when you got this stuff coming up, always something comes up like this and drowns that out, and everybody forgets about it. I mean, it's a big deal about Jeffrey Epstein. He look at who his friends were. And Joe, please tell people, because people go, "Oh yeah, Trump was good friends with him. There's pictures of them together." Tell them what happened with Trump and Jeffrey Epstein.
Actually, there's a video of one of Epstein's victims that was suing him in court many years ago, and the attorney said he was contacting a lot of people that knew they had contact with Jeffrey Epstein and stuff. Rich and famous people and stuff. He said the only one that called him was Donald Trump. Donald Trump called him and said, "Hey, if there's anything I can do to help," and he said he gave him a bunch of information. It checked out really well and stuff, and they said that Trump had kicked him out of his Mar-a-Lago club
because he was hitting on
he was trying to pick up one of his other guest's 14-year-old daughter, trying to pick her up, and he kicked him out,
I mean, let's name a few of his friends. First off, Bill Clinton, Hillary Clinton,
yeah.
Who else has been known to hang out with Prince Andrew?
Oh, yeah,
and you see how the royal family's distancing themselves from him.
You know who else? Bill Gates. Bill Gates was writing checks to him.
Oh, really? What for?
Yeah. I wonder. I don't know. But apparently he was told to finance something for Epstein.
I want to, if you watched the Barbara Walters, I believe it was Barbara Walters, who interviewed Prince Andrew after all this shit came out about him. And do you remember that interview?
No, I heard about it.
We'll have Justin look it up real quick. He was interviewed. If you're tuned in, stay tuned in because I want you to hear this. Because I have some footage or some
Well, there was
recording.
some of his, some of his royal family or rich friends or whatever that was, they were defending him, saying, well, those girls were prostitutes. And they were 14,
Yeah. It don't matter if they're
There's a 14-year-old
prostitutes.
prostitute.
Well, I'm sure there are, but they're pimped out by some pig.
At 14, you're not a prostitute by choice.
Yeah, I'm sure there are, but like you said, you're not doing it by choice. Hold on one second. I'm trying to find what. Yeah, I'm going to play an interview of these children, and I hope you can hear it because I want you to hear what they say, and then I want you to hear about Prince Andrew and where he said he went with his children and stuff. And I want to break this. I want you to hear these children, and it's about a 3-minute video clip. Yeah, of course, you're only going to have the audio, but I'm going to play this real quick, Joe. And I want kids to... Now, these kids are speaking with an English accent. They're from the United Kingdom or wherever.
Just the one where they're saying we don't want to kill the babies?
Yeah. So I want you to hear
I
these,
saw that one.
but I want our view... A lot of the viewers haven't heard it. And I really want them to hear this. So listen to what these children have to say. They're not being coached. Actually, these children are running away from their father with their mother. Their mother and their father were divorced. Their father is high up in a government official in, what is it, England, Joe?
Yeah.
And I want you to hear what these children have to say to the camera with because they're recording the grandpa and the mother and the attorney are recording these children telling what they were made to do by their father and other people. And they're telling them while they're on the run, getting away. And I believe these children are in the United States now in hiding. So go ahead, Justin, and turn the volume up on this. And hopefully y'all can hear this. But here we go.
We decided to stop touching each children and stop touching each other. And stop touching ourselves. And face our urge.
And what else are you going to stop doing?
And stop touching ourselves. And we're going to stop touching ourselves.
And what else are you going to stop?
And stop killing babies. And stop killing babies. And we're going to face our fear and face our urge.
You're going to face your fear. Because fear is what?
Fear is the mind killer.
And you're going to help us to catch? Who are you going to help us to catch?
All the people. Papa, Mr. Hollins, the school.
All the policemen. All the social services.
Speak up.
All the shopkeepers, all the cafes, all the pizza express.
Who did you mention just now? Who?
Pizza Express. Keep that in
Who's
mind.
Kafka?
You know, there's people who work at Kafka.
Yeah, I couldn't hear because I was on the phone, but
I've
done the past. It's been a while.
Okay. Social services.
And what did they do to you?
They do sex. They touch each other. They touch me and Gabriel. They have plastic quillies. And they stick it
That's
in
crazy.
Who does? Who sticks it in your bottom?
social services. Everybody does. All of them.
Who?
Everybody.
Does your mother do it?
No.
Do I do it?
No.
Who does it then?
Papa, Mrs. Hollins, the school.
Who?
Parents.
My dad's
Tell me more
family.
people. Tell me some more people, please. I'm interested.
Parents, police.
What about the teachers at school? Who's the main one?
Papa, Mr. Hollins, Mrs. Forsyth.
Who's Mrs. Forsdyke?
She's the head teacher of our school.
And what does she do?
And she does sex. She got a big red knot with a big tattoo on her pride.
And what happens in the church?
And we do baby sacrifice and eat the baby.
What do you mean sacrifice and eat the baby?
So we kill the baby and eat it and drink the blood from it.
Is that true, Gabriel?
Yes. And we dance with the skulls.
You what?
We dance with the skulls in the church.
What skulls?
Skulls of the baby.
Pardon?
Baby skulls. The skulls of the baby.
You dance with the baby skulls.
Yes.
And who kills the babies?
Papa, me, Elisa. And so,
Who kills the babies?
Papa.
And what? He gets you to help him?
Yes.
Shoot.
So he tells us to hold the hand on the knife, and then he holds his hand on our hand. So then he cuts the baby's head off. And then he puts it upside down, and then we drain the blood.
And then what they do?
And then we cook it, and then we drink the blood, and then after we go and dance with the skulls.
I hope the listeners could hear that. These children are, these are cute little children. They're on the run here. And I don't know if you heard that these school teachers and the people at Pizza Express, which is a big chain of pizza places in England, molesting these children, and these children are children of a man who's an elite in England. Right now, I don't know right now who this is, but I know these are people that a Pentagon. What is it, Joe? What is it called? The Pentagon Task Force.
Pentagon Pedophile Task Force.
The Pentagon, Pedophile Task Force are going after. And let everyone know, I don't think anybody really realizes what's going on since Trump has taken office as far as these pedophiles being... now, what people got to understand is this pedophile thing, that goes right along with Satan worship. It goes right along with... this you may not believe in it, you may not believe in God, you may not believe there's a devil, but the point is these elitists do, and they do this sick, perverse shit to these innocent children. You heard these. How old would you say them kids were in that video, Joe?
I don't see like 6 or 8.
Yeah, around 6, 7.
From what I remember, because
and these kids are talking about how, and they're showing how their dad cut the head off of a baby and how they drank the blood and ate the baby. And, man, I just, they're not being coached.
And then
Go ahead.
They took this to court, and apparently the judge in the court was, when you look at it, it seems like he was in on it too. So all these higher up people in government and courts are in on this.
And you will find that, and Joe's really well versed in how these high officials within the court, judges, even sheriffs were finding out, and are involved in this pedophile and these rings, and they're protecting these elitists from getting what they're getting caught and getting punished. I mean, look at Harvey Weinstein, or whatever his name was. Everybody knew what he was doing, but no one did nothing. Why is that, Joe?
There was that interview with Cindy McCain, and she said, "Oh, we all knew what he was doing, but they were too afraid to say anything or something." And then she was kind of backtracking after that, like, "Well,
when did we become such pussies in America? When did this start happening? Because I know my dad was no pussy, and I know your dad, he ain't no pussy. My grandpa wasn't. Your grandpa wasn't. Why won't these people stand up and do anything anymore?
Well, I don't know that everybody's pussy. I don't really think so.
No?
What I think is they're fooled.
They're fooled
If
into
somebody-
believing
if
that
the
you
people-
can abuse a woman and get away with it? They're
People
fooled?
knew if people knew what was going on, they'd be furious.
Well,
it's
let's
like-
tell them what's going on, Joe. That's why we're here. Let's
Yeah.
tell them what's going on.
It's like it was a Henry Ford said. It's just as
'Cause-
well people don't understand the money system in this country, because if they did, there'd be revolution by tomorrow morning. I believe it.
Oh,
If
but
they knew all the money
he
that was being stolen from them,
But he knew that revolution would happen. But I don't think it would today.
I know what.
Nah, I don't think it would. I think
I do.
you can't get 5 people to agree on anything anymore.
If
And
somebody came in your house, how many people they go in their bank account and steal, 80% of their money? How many people do you think would say, oh well?
yeah,
I don't know of anybody that would.
but here's the thing.
And not just go in and steal 80% of your money, but do it every day, every week, every month. You know what I'm saying?
Here's the thing, Joe, is that we're talking about children. I'm sorry,
Yeah.
but you're not going to stand by and watch anyone's child be molested or abused.
But that's why I don't say we're pussies in this country. We're fools.
Well,
You know?
explain what's going on in this child elitist. How many people have been busted lately? I know you were giving me numbers.
I mean, there's been, but and the thing is it's not on the news. I mean, it was like this is where my cousin lives, down in Louisiana.
Yeah.
And it's like you see this happen around the areas where you are, but that's about it. You and your people and stuff like that. Because they have parishes down there, they don't have counties. But what would be comparable to their county sheriff, if their parish top cop, I don't know if it's the parish sheriff, or whatever they call him, him and his wife.
All right, hold
were
on one
arrested
second. Hold on one second, Joe. It's funny because we just lost our live feed, I believe.
I don't know. Is that funny?
No, I don't think it is.
Well, you said it was funny. Let me, No, I hear you live. It's just delayed.
Can everybody hear us? We are live.
My YouTube just closed.
Oh, our YouTube just closed out on the production computer, so sorry about that, guys. Go ahead, Joe. I'm sorry to interrupt. Go ahead.
Yeah, the parish sheriffs, whatever you want to call them,
Yeah.
him and his wife, were just arrested for. I know this was like a couple months back, but they're arrested for not only child porn but child trafficking and like sexual molestation and several different charges. He's the top cop in the parish.
Yeah.
It was they had issues with the police. They had called the police out for family incident. When the cop came out there and was roughing one of them up, and my uncle stepped in and tried to stop him, and they ended up like beating the whole family's ass and hauling them all out of jail. It's like, what? It's like, you don't call the cops, my uncle was standing up for his son, and it's just and there were several instances they told me about that. Like, down there, it's like, don't issue, don't call the cops, I mean, they're the same people that got busted and for all that, it's like, wow,
Oh yeah.
But
if you could tell everybody, I mean, this just ain't happening in California, New York, Florida, Wisconsin. And people sure haven't heard of the Wisconsin thing. I don't know if anybody knows Field, but I think there's something behind that.
Yeah.
But not that I don't believe everything anyone says, but tell them about what happened there in Michigan City and how people are afraid and how this woman was speaking. I believe she was a paramedic. You told me, and she said no, there was a bunch of now.
Oh yeah. The trial I was on the jury for.
Yeah.
That blew me away, you know, and it makes sense to me with all the child trafficking going on and stuff like that. You know, it's the Child Protective Services. They, they grow their business by bringing kids in, you know, and they make money off that. It's a it's a business for them. But there was a girl that they picked her up suspected shoplifting, and so she bailed out right away. She was home, sitting at home with her daughter in the apartment, and it was 95, and it was really hot out. It was like a big heat wave that, you know, Chicago was saying all these people were dying and stuff because of the heat and all that. It was, 110, 115 degrees or something like that, something crazy, you know. And but this girl had a fever of like 103 or something like that. And they were sitting in this girl's apartment with the air conditioning on, and eating their popsicles, giving them plenty of water and stuff. The Child Protective Services pulls up, and since, she was arrested, but, you're innocent until proven guilty. They said they're taking her daughter, and they drug her out of her hands, and the girl's screaming and crying, she's crying, and then they hauled her off and they put her in a foster care. Well, that foster family, they put her upstairs in a crib, closed the door with the windows nailed shut in an upstairs room.
Now, how old is this child? Not that it matters.
He was 5.
5 years old.
Yep. And she literally sweated to death. I mean, this girl lost like 10 pounds, and she didn't weigh 60 pounds to begin with, or something like that.
All right.
Maybe it was 8 pounds or something, but it was amazing the amount of weight this girl lost overnight. And they killed her overnight. But the trial blew me away because they brought 2 state police officers in, and they sat up there on the thing, and they said the only kids in the house was this little girl that died, and the foster parents had one of their own. That's the only kids that were in the house. And they swore under oath.
All right.
Well, then they brought this paramedic girl in. She's crying her eyes out, and you could tell she was shaking. She was scared. And they sat her on the stand, and they're asking all these questions, and so and this was the state was already cleared, and so was the foster family. It was already cleared for criminal charges. So this was a civil matter, So the plaintiff that was suing the state, or Child Protective Services, or whatever they are, the plaintiff gets up there and asks the girl, the paramedic, said, "What were you doing while the police were investigating this?" She said, "I was in the basement helping all the children find their shoes and get out of the house because there were no lights in the basement. They had all these bunk beds down there, and the kids couldn't find their shoes because there was no lights." To me, I'm picturing like a dungeon,
Oh, of course. Yeah, well, what else would you call it?
Beds, bunk beds, and there's no lights in there's no lights in the basement.
What do you call that?
What would you get? What would you? I mean, it's like there's just a bunch of kids, and they asked how many kids, and I don't remember what our number was, 10 or 12, something like that. And, however many she said, there was a bunch of kids in the basement. But they said, well, so why were you getting them out of there? Because the police told me that this was a crime scene. Get those kids out of the house. Now, what police would this be? The ones that just testified that there were only 2 kids in the house. And that blew me away, and it made no sense. And I'm like, how it doesn't all fit together, you know?
Just
But then the defense for the state got up there, and they said, and he was kind of snappy with the girl, and he said, what would you say if I just told you that 2 state police officers, I don't know if they were state, but 2 police officers just sat right where you are now and testified that there were only 2 kids in the house? And she's bawling her eyes out, and she's like, well, I guess I would have to say whatever they said. You know, how do you put that together? That you know, what you were doing was helping a dozen kids get out of the house, but there were only 2 in there.
And let people know this wasn't in.
Yeah, that blew me away. That was in Michigan City.
Michigan City, guys.
That was in Michigan City.
LaPorte County.
The courthouse right down there by Highway 12. It was in that courthouse right there. It was at District 2 or whatever it is. I'm not sure, but
yeah. And all of a sudden, and it's intimidation. I mean, and that's my thing is, we have to stop being intimidated by our so-called authority. And you do what you know is right. And I know
the state was pressuring them cops and the paramedic with their job and whatever else they were pressuring them with. That look, you will get up there and say what you need us to say to clear our butt. You know, it just blew me away, and I. You know, I've never forgotten that, and that's burned into my head. You know,
and we're talking about children, and that's scary. You would think, and here I go thinking that with children involved, everyone's going to tell the truth and help the children. That makes you scared to. For yourself. I mean, for yourself. They call him Old Spice. If they would lie about children, what are they going to do to you when you're in a court?
Yeah. The police weren't shaking at all. They had no problem saying what they had to say. You know, and that's what blew me away is that, you know, and pretty much, you know, like in police academy, they're taught to lie to you to get you to say things that they want you to say, you know.
Kind of like taught to do that. I think Congress goes through the same class, don't they?
Yeah. yes, probably. Yep.
What I'd like to see here with, especially with what's going on right now, and I always cite on the part that, you know, this coronavirus is real, and, you know, bad things could happen. Hopefully they don't. Hopefully I'm wrong. But
I never said it wasn't real, but I just...
I'm not putting words in your mouth, but there's people that are like, yeah, and you're one of them, that are like, hey, really ain't going to change your lifestyle right now.
Yeah.
And basically your lifestyle is work, sleep, work, sleep, work, sleep. And unfortunately, that's a lot of Americans' life. That's what they do. And have to do. But my concern is that this is going to be political all the way through this, and there's going to be no bipartisanship down the, you know, and these people aren't going to work together. I look at Bernie Sanders on that last debate. It looked like 2 senior citizens in a nursing home yelling at each other.
It was pretty much minus the nursing home.
Yeah. Bernie said, you know, I will work with every country, every president, every prime minister in every country. You can't even work with your president. You won't work with Trump. How are you going to work? I'm sure he'd work great with China. I'm sure he'd work great with Venezuela. But
the thing of it is, too, is our president should be working with everybody.
What was that?
It should be we. Our president shouldn't be working with everybody and making deals and stuff. It should be we, the people.
No, he was
worrying about
talking. He
ourselves.
was talking. The whole debate had to do with the coronavirus. Period.
Yeah.
And how, as Steve would say, Trump was in his living room with his chemistry set making the coronavirus, and it's his fault.
Yeah.
But that was basically the whole debate. And he said, I would work with all the... You're not even working with the president on getting it solved here right now. What would make me think that you would do anything if you were president, work with anybody else? Man, what a bunch of blithering idiots. I look at them too on the stage, and could somebody give Bernie Sanders a fucking comb, please? Yeah, wow.
Yeah.
But I took the wheel again.
He combs his hair with a balloon.
With the wind. Neither one of them had the pulse of the people. And here's the thing, man. Because of where we live, and I say it every podcast, we live in the greatest state, in one of the greatest states in the Union. All right? And I love our community, our people. I think we live in a great area. For example, my son has, we all have Trump hats. We all have Make America Great hats or Keep America Great hats. And my son don't give a shit. He look for a fight, Justin, and he wears his hat everywhere. And never once has anyone said, as a matter of fact, we were at the store before we went on quarantine, and a guy walked by and said, hey, nice hat. But if you watch a mainstream news, ain't nobody ever said nothing. But if you watch a mainstream news or listen to Mr. Smollett, that this is mega country and we're all racist. We're all, you know what? If you listen to mainstream news, you would think everyone hated Donald Trump. And
I always bring up the thing that 98% Hillary's going to win.
I don't see it. I don't see it in this coronavirus thing. I don't see it. I didn't see it in our area during the election, during the debates. And you know what? I can say it because he was my guy, in the primaries. I was like, Donald Trump's going to win this. A lot of my friends were Ted Cruz. And I like Ted Cruz too, but I just wanted to see what it would be like to have somebody who's not a politician in office. And how has it worked? For you, Joe, how has it worked?
How does it work?
How do you think it's worked out having a guy who isn't a lifetime politician in the presidency?
I think you have no idea yet. I think give it a month and you're going to start to see some things. But I think a lot of it's been a show. I mean, like him banning bump stocks and different things like that and stuff. It's been a show. You got to do what you got to do. You know what I'm saying?
What do you think of his overall performance?
So, that's what I say. We haven't seen the results yet, and they're about to materialize.
My question is, now listen, what do you think of what you've seen so far?
I like it.
Are you impressed? Is it more than what you expected?
Absolutely, but I'm looking behind the curtain. You know what I'm saying? Everybody still thinks that the wizard's up on the screen. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
I'm looking behind the curtain, and Yes, I'm pleased with that fact.
Do you think that he's identified the swamp and eventually he's going to drain it?
Yeah, I think he's, they've cut the roots and stuff like that. And I think right now the water's just starting to swirl, and we're going to see it going down the drain soon.
I'd like to hear what our viewers say. We have a lot of, at least a little bit of chat going on. We ain't got nothing today. I guess they're just being lazy. They don't want to type nothing, and that's okay. But
maybe we're just riveting and they're on the edge of their seats.
Yeah, I really doubt that. Whereas, yeah. And now to our sponsor, Geritol.
Yeah.
No, I am thrilled with what I've seen out of Donald Trump. Do I think he's made every right decision? No. I think the banning of the bump stocks, I think, is idiotic. I don't like that. I don't like, because we don't want to give them anything. Do you understand? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
If you give them anything, it's taken away. And the government can't give you anything unless they've already taken it away. So,
well, it's like, I think it's like Ronald Reagan said, I don't remember the exact numbers and stuff, but he said something about, you don't say no when somebody's giving you 80% of what you want. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You take it,
Yep.
So,
I
you gotta do what you gotta do. You gotta negotiate,
I am just thrilled with his performance. Like I said, I'm not a Donald Trump guy where he does no wrong, but there's one thing that he needs to do.
We need to build a wall, and it has to be built quickly.
Yes.
Yeah.
I know you probably couldn't hear that.
Yeah.
But we need to build a wall, and we need to build it quickly.
Yeah.
I know you're totally. I know you're totally against. Joe is totally against the wall, and tell our viewers why, our listeners why.
Well, the thing of it is that, it's like Q says, the wall is more than you know, and trust the plan. So I don't know what it is, but my thinking with the wall is that, people don't want to get out of their home and travel on foot for 1,000 miles to cross the border and then try and cross the desert and make it. If your life was good, you wouldn't have to worry about that. You know what I mean? When they legalize, they make drugs illegal. They make drug cartels down there, and then they, with Fast and Furious, Obama and Eric Holder, and they ship tons of weapons down there. Destabilize the area, people are going to leave, but, it's like saying, well, the hose keeps spraying me, so we're going to, put a bag over our head. Why don't you go turn the spigot off, you know what I mean? What? If you quit uprooting the people and giving them a reason, and they're doing it on both ends. Yeah. Not only are they going down there and screwing up, but they're saying, hey, if you do come here, we're going to give you all this money. So if they quit doing that, you wouldn't have the people streaming across the border. I mean, we don't have it on the north. Canadians aren't traveling hundreds of miles to cross the border on the north. Why is that?
Because
we didn't go up there.
Because
we
they
didn't
don't
go up
have
there
it.
Fuck up Canada.
Listen. I do not, and I think people get it wrong. I don't agree with you on the whole thing. Everybody knows what I agree and the idea I'm in love with, and it's.
So you agree that we got to build a wall across Canada?
A wall, and it has to be built quickly.
And I love that.
Yeah, well, building a wall across Canada.
I love that he wants to build a wall. I think it is sexy that he wants to build a wall. I think that wall is going to be the deepest, hugest, biggest, huge wall, and and the best wall ever. I think.
Yeah.
But I think it will. I think it will keep people out for. I don't think they're going to climb the wall, Joe. I don't think they're going to get. I mean, some will, but I think they'll go to the main ports of entry, and I have no problem with immigrants coming to this country. I'm an immigrant. My family's immigrants to this country. Your family's immigrants to this country. The problem is we need legal immigrants in this country.
Right, and that's the problem too, because as you know, and anybody listening might not know, I went through immigration.
Yes.
And it's one of the most screwed up, just amazingly incompetent bureaucracies that there is.
But
and
because,
so when they say go home and come back illegally, what they mean is go back and never come back, because these people that are coming in cannot get here legally. They cannot. There's like a backlog of like hundreds of thousands of people that are trying to get in.
My question is I understand the system's broke. I understand that there's flaws in our system. I understand it takes years to become a legal citizen. You went through it. I know, not you yourself, but your ex-spouse.
No, I went through it. I went through it.
And you went through it. Okay.
I did all the stuff on this end of it. I set everything up. I set up her, the appointments and stuff on that side.
But my point is, Joe, is that if the system's broke, you fix it. Listen, it takes how long? I mean, the IRS, which ain't even a part of our government, it's owned by the Federal Reserve. It's owned by the banks. They can process how many tax returns in several months? How many? Millions. Millions of tax returns they can process. You don't think that they could process these, this immigration paperwork faster than what they do now? I think they can.
So you throw a pile, two piles of paperwork on my desk. The right pile, after I do all that paperwork, I'm gonna get paid trillions of dollars. The pile on the left, after I process all that, I have to pay out billions. Which paperwork do you think I'm going to do first?
Of course, what you're going to make.
Yeah, I mean, there's an incentive for you to process tax returns.
But that's what I'm saying. It's the system's broke. We need to repair it.
Yeah.
But what's your idea? Just let anybody over the border? We don't vet anyone.
Well,
no, everybody believes in borders. Everyone. It's just how much of a border do you believe in? Everybody believes in borders.
How about Canada?
I believe
there's towns where the border runs right through the town, and you can freely walk and back and forth across both sides.
I believe that anyone coming to this country should be vetted. I'm sorry. And I'm not worried about most Mexicans.
Yeah,
I'm not worried about most Canadians. I've said it before. Some of the hardest working people I've ever worked with is people from Mexico.
Are hungry people.
They're
hungry. It's not because they have a gene in them that makes them want to pick strawberries or potatoes or whatever.
I think
there's no such gene. It's because they're hungry.
No,
which is why they cross thousands of miles to get here.
Listen,
or hundreds of miles.
Joe, there is a difference. Yeah. There is a difference. Societies are different. No, there's not a gene. But when you've seen hard times, and you know what hard times are,
right? Exactly. Then you're willing to cross hundreds of miles and climb over a fence to get there.
And you will work harder. You will work
Yes,
harder
yes.
to get ahead and live the American dream. All Americans, our poorest people are richer than most of the rich people in other countries. The thing is that we're
in America
so
where
spoiled.
we have obese poor people.
I'm an obese poor person.
yes.
People always look at me and say, "Poor Mike, look how fat he is."
Yep.
But yeah, I
don't say the poor part, but
no, you just tell me how fat I am.
right.
Oh.
No, actually, I don't though.
Yeah, he does. He is not a kind.
It's just
guy.
obvious. I don't need to say that. Why point out the obvious? You know what I'm saying?
I hear you. but I just don't think that you free willy-nilly. So you believe just let anybody in. If you want to come, just come.
I believe if you solve the problems, you won't have to. So do you let free willy-nilly everybody come in from Canada?
I don't believe we should.
Well, we don't have a problem there either.
I do.
You have a problem in Canada?
I have a problem with them crossing the border illegally and staying here. Yeah, I do.
But my point is that
but
they
legal
could,
immigrants,
but
Joe,
they can walk right across the border. They can walk right across the border in Canada, but they don't. They come in legally from the north because there's no problem there.
Legal.
I'm saying if you solve the problem, you have all the legal immigration you want.
Legal immigrants from Mexico, from Canada, hate illegal immigrants because of what they had to go through to get here.
Right.
I think there should be a process. I don't think it should be easy to become an American. I don't think it should be easy to come here. I agree with Donald Trump. We don't want your second rate. We want the best that you have to offer. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe we should just let whoever wants to come here. I'd like to hear other people's opinions on it, but
they've been through this. They've been through this, and like Georgia, where they passed really tough laws against immigrants. And you know what they did? They went over to the next state, and all the crops rotted in the fields. And then they decided, well, you know what? We'll have the prisoners pick because hey, they're prisoners. We'll just take them out there. But you know what? It turns out you can make them work long, but you can't make them work hard.
Wrong.
You know? So prisoners, pick an apple, walk over to the box, toss it in, walk back, pick an apple, smoke a cigarette, whatever. It's like, the crops still rotted in the fields. And you know what they did there? They reversed the laws. Because not only were the crops rotting in the fields, but there were, hotels and small grocery stores and stuff going out of business because there wasn't all the immigrants there to buy and pay for services and things like that. It was a disaster, and they reversed the laws. They did the same thing in California.
Wrong.
Wrong.
I don't know.
They did. You can look that
know.
up. No, you can look that up. They did. It was a.
I don't have a problem. We're not talking about work visas. I don't have a problem with them coming here and working.
They didn't have any visas, and that was the problem.
That is a problem.
They were going to be throwing people in jail. They were going to be throwing the employers in jail and stuff. And you know what the immigrants said? I'll just go to the next state and pick their crops.
My problem is so no work visas, no nothing. Just come on. You believe that? That's fine with you.
Well,
tell me what you think. I mean, that's what I'm hearing. Is that you're fine with it?
I'm saying if you could vet these, if you want, you're so worried about these people coming here and killing you, you could vet them, and they would stand in line. They would go through the vetting process. If you made it easy, and you didn't make all the problems in their country where they had to, many of them, they love where they live. They would come here and pick the crops and go home. You wouldn't have a problem with them. And they would do your paperwork or whatever you wanted. You know?
Isn't that all we're asking them to do, really? Is the paperwork that they want?
But, it's the system that sets this up. And they tell...
and I agree, the system is
They tell
flawed.
the Republicans one thing and they poke a stick at them. They tell the Democrats another thing and they poke a stick at them. And they make everybody fight with each other over something that there's a simple solution to it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I know a pastor who came here from South Africa. The country of South Africa. And he came over here, his parents came over here when he was young, but I don't think it took years and years. As a matter of fact, he was a young child when he came here. I believe he was 13 when he finally became an American citizen. I understand, but they went through the process. And they were living here as they went through the process. I don't know where you're...
I met somebody.
Okay.
I met somebody. I worked with him for a while.
Okay.
And he's from the Kashmir area, between Pakistan and India.
Yeah.
Very rough area. In fact, I knew when he went home, he said he was going by himself and leaving his family here. And he was caught down in a crossfire trying to get to his house to see his family. And this was like 3 or 4 years ago. Well, then I asked him, I said, well, how did you get here into this country? And he said he crossed the Rio Grande. Him, his wife, and his 2 children. And I thought he was joking.
Oh, yeah.
No, I laughed. He's like, no, I did. He said, I crossed the Rio Grande.
Yeah,
and he's a good guy. He's a nice guy. He's a hard worker.
But that's my point, is that, yes, there are nice people. I'm not saying, Trump never said, I'm not saying that evil people are, I don't blame these people for coming here to get a better life. I don't. But this guy's from over by the Middle East. You don't think bad guys can come and fly to Mexico and cross the Rio Grande and just walk across?
You don't think bad guys can get a phony passport and just fly right into the country?
I know they can.
The bad guys that got money. But you're worried about the people that are picking crops. You know what I'm saying?
No. What I'm saying is that when Trump brings up the idea of getting borders and vetting people from certain countries, that it seems to me that the progressives go nuts, and now it seems to me that you go nuts over it. We shouldn't vet no one.
Well, so you think the people that flew the planes into the buildings at 9/11, you think they flew into Mexico and swam across the river?
No,
so we're going to focus trillions of dollars to build the wall down there, and these people are just flying right into the country. Don't you think we should use that money to vet other people? Worry about other problems? The people that are coming in here...
I believe that if our government was, at the time, worried about stopping something other than worrying about taking away our freedoms, it would have been stopped. We knew what was going on, but they didn't want to stop it. That was a different administration. That was freaking almost 21 years ago. I'm talking about now with the Trump administration. Do you think Trump wants another 9/11? Trump don't believe the 9/11 story.
So what do you think? You're some guy in Pakistan, Afghanistan, or you're some Middle Eastern terrorist, and you're gonna let's say I'm gonna cause a terror. I'm gonna cause it, and it's hypothetically you're gonna cause a terrorist attack. So you make plans to fly to Mexico and swim across the Rio Grande, or do you fly into New York? Do you fly into Canada and walk across the border.
Well, if they're not
Well, what would you
vetting,
do?
well,
What would you do?
if they're not vetting, I would get a passport and I'd just fly into wherever I wanted to. I imagine.
Right. So let's
don't vet.
not focus on that. Let's focus on building a wall.
I think a wall's a start.
You know, I might have told you this story before. When I was in the Army, we had the canvas duffel bags, and they got like a little the four tops fold down onto a clip, and then it clips on, and then you just got to unpop that clip and stick your hand right in the duffel bag. Well, the drill sergeants made us buy little locks to put on that loop, that metal loop at the top, so nobody could just open your bag and get in there. And I bought like a little $3 jewelry box lock and popped it on there. And some guy was laughing at me. And he pointed at his duffel bag, and he had, one of these, bulletproof, case-hardened steel locks, $50 or something like that, something ridiculous. He's like, yeah, they're not getting in my bag. And I said, no, they're gonna see my bag, and they're gonna walk right past it because it's got this cheap little jewelry box locks. And they're going to walk right to your bag, and they're going to say, look, he must have something in there. Then they're going to stick their knife in the side of it and rip it from the bottom to the top and dump all your stuff out. That lock's not going to stop them at all. The weakest link, a chain is as strong as its weakest link,
Yeah.
So you're focusing on putting this huge case-hardened stainless steel lock at the border, at the southern border. And people are just going to fly right into the country. And you're spending all your time building this wall down, time and money building this wall down there.
I think the wall's a great idea.
There's other ways. What's that?
I think I don't think it's a bad idea.
You know what?
I don't think that it's a bad idea. I don't think the wall's a bad idea.
Yeah, no, it wasn't a bad idea for my buddy to put a $50 lock on his bag. That wasn't a bad idea.
No.
It wasn't a bad idea for me to put a $2 lock on it,
No.
They did the same thing because they could tear the side of the bag open if they wanted.
Listen,
That's my point.
I'm not afraid of...
You can put $1 billion wall down there, all the terrorist has to do is buy a plane ticket.
That's true. I said the system's broke and we got to fix it. Yeah,
Right.
At both places. And that's my whole point. Is that you just don't throw... if you have a car and the spark plugs are bad, you don't throw away the car. You change the spark plugs.
Yeah, you put a $10,000 spark plug in it, and then it's better.
Well, you're the one... what does it matter when we can print all the money we want? How much money we put into it? Yeah,
when you print all the money, you see the money laying on the streets in Venezuela. That's what happens when you print all the money you want.
Oh, so quantitative easing never happened. Unlimited.
Yeah, it did. Well, it wasn't unlimited, but
quantitative that's what it was called. It was quantitative easing unlimited.
That's why I go to the grocery store. That's why when I go to the grocery store and I have a half of a carton, it costs me $300.
I understand.
I used to have an overflowing cart. That's what happens with printing. So you're going to print to where now the cart's going to cost $1,000 for the groceries.
Joe, you know as well as I do that we'd be in the same shape as these other countries if our dollar wasn't propped up. Our dollar's propped up, and that's the only reason.
Propped up by what?
By speculation, by somebody saying, hey, this is worth something, by people believing it's worth something. Me and you know it's worth nothing. Most of the listeners know that the dollar's worth nothing. There's nothing backing it up. It's paper, and it's IOU. So, if the Federal Reserve said, you know what, we want all our money back, what shape would the United States be in?
Well, and they're going through that right now. if somebody said, okay, they owe you money, and you know they've been stealing from you and your family for 100 years, what would you do? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Well, I don't think we disagree. I think we're looking at it at two different points of view.
Yeah.
I think, okay, something needs to be done down south. Is there something that we could do that's less expensive to fix other problems? Yeah, there is. But something has to be done with the borders. And I believe in both, but north and south. The thing is that you believe, hey, well, let's make it where we vet before they fly in, correct?
Yeah.
Because right now they can just, if you're in Syria, you want to come over here and kill a bunch of Americans, all you have to do is get you a plane ticket, go live up in Dearborn, Michigan, where you're accepted, and they're thriving in a Muslim country or a Muslim city, and then plan your attack and kill. But if you're vetted and not just allowed to fly,
Well, you know what?
the second thing, what I'm getting at, Joe, and everybody else is, okay, if we stop them from flying in here, and we vet, and we do get them to stop flying into the country, then all they're going to do is fly to Mexico or Canada. Easier to go to Canada by far, and just walk here or drive here.
But you know, it used to be that way, even on the southern border. They didn't have checkpoints. The 50s and 60s, they would just drive right across, and did frequently. They go to Mexico and come back.
And I know that we both have the same opinion. If we get rid of
if you get rid of the people that are funding the bad guys,
well, no,
people that are funding terrorism.
I think people's main concern with illegal aliens is the welfare state that we're in. That we're giving them free stuff.
Right.
We're giving them that stuff. If you got rid of the welfare state,
you get rid of that.
That would get rid of the issue that everybody cares about. Because there's no benefit to coming here other than coming here and working hard and earning your way, which I think the majority of people from Mexico do. I think they're good-hearted, hard-working people that want to get ahead, and I don't blame them. I don't condone it, but I understand it. I would do the same thing. My whole point is, yes, the system's broke. One thing that needs to be fixed is the welfare state, where we're not taking care of illegal immigrants. But right now, they're coming over here, and because, I mean, you're the one who told me the story about them having classes on how to get free stuff from our government.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, you go down there, first of all, you know, if you take away the money that's funding them to screw that up down there, people aren't going to want to travel 1,000 miles for a better life. You know?
Yeah.
And the people right on the border, like I say, just back in the 50s and 60s, they would drive across and grocery shop or visit and then go back home. You know?
A lot of this immigration has always been a problem. It's not something that just come up with Trump. People that look at them kids in cages.
No. In our lifetime, it's been a problem, but before that, it wasn't.
But one thing that really bothers me is you watch the fake news, and you see these children in cages, people, behind bars. And that was Obama. That was the Obama administration.
That's what I was just going to say. Yeah. That's what I was just going to say.
How dare President Trump?
But then they're not furious anymore, you know?
Yeah, but you know what? When the Democrats aren't in office, the Republicans pull the same stuff. Not to the extent that's happened to to Trump, I've never seen anything like this. This guy can't do nothing right.
Yeah.
I mean, he could come up with the cure for coronavirus, and he would. They would find something wrong with what he did or how he did it. And they'd call him racist because he only found the cure when it got into the United States.
Yeah.
But
yeah, there's always a way to twist it.
Oh, and there is. And you know what? Our listeners have said, that the media spins things how they want to, the way they want to do it. And I mean, our listeners are smart enough to know that the media is biased. And the Democratic Party pays to have these stories. There's an agenda. And the agenda is to get President Trump out of office. And they would even use a pandemic to do that, which I find absurd. Well, I think it's I can't even think of the word. It's evil.
It's deplorable.
It is. It's deplorable.
Yeah.
But hey, Joe, we're going to get off here. We got a couple more people to talk to. I'm going to give somebody a chance to call in. But been a pleasure as always. Can't wait till this. We're on day 4. We only got 20 some days left, so 26.
Yeah.
And we'll see where we're at. Hopefully I'm wrong. But you take care.
Right.
You take care and be safe.
Good. Yep. Talk to you later.
All right. Bye, Joe. All right. Now you see that me and Joe argue and don't agree on certain things. A lot of things we agree on. A lot of things we don't. But love Joe. Great guy. Adds a lot to the program. Being on the panel. One of us always jerks the wheel and we go off topic, off subject. But right now I'm just, I'm tired of hearing about this virus. I mean, it's exhausting, especially if you're like me and you're taking it serious and you believe that there is something about it. I tend to believe that it is a bioweapon and it's something our bodies have never seen before. And that's why it's so dangerous. We don't have protection within our bodies to fight this off. And again, they're saying 80% of people are just going to get sniffles and mild infections. But out of that 40% are just going to get sniffles like a little cold. They're saying the other 40% will get pneumonia-like symptoms, but they won't require hospitalization. And they say the other 20% will require hospitalization. And out of that 5%, out of all of it, 5% they are expecting to die. Now, that's the latest numbers. That's what I heard today. That's the rundown that they're giving us today. We'll see how that changes. Things change every day. Yesterday we had 1 death and 24 cases. Today we got 2 deaths, 30 cases. We never know what, and that's with everything. We never know what tomorrow holds for us. I don't know if Steve's awake. I haven't heard from him. I see Carrie says hi. Hello. I'd like to say hi to Benjamin and Bobo and Celia. Thank you guys for watching. We appreciate it. But I don't know if Steve's awake, but we'll try to give him a call. First, I will give our person that's in the medical field a call and see if there's any changes today. Or if you're listening, Kim, go ahead. I don't have her phone number right offhand on my phone. Kim, if you're listening, go ahead and give us a call in here real quick. Then we're going to see if Steve's up and around and give us some give us a laugh or two. And but Steve's a great guy, but he brings some, lightheartedness to the whole situation, and we love to have him on. I'm going to give Kim a few more seconds to call. If not, we're going to... we're on a delay, so I have to wait a few minutes to see if Kim's going to call. I heard somebody yelling outside, so... But, anybody have any comments, any questions, you can give us a call to the phone number I'm going to be putting on the chat screen. It is 219-380-9918. And here we go. We're getting a call right now. Hey, this is Mike.
Hello, Mike.
Hello, Kim. How are you doing today?
Surviving this.
Yeah, so I know you guys are busy and you guys are, they got you hard at work. But any new news going on your end that we haven't covered yet?
The newest thing that we are now enacting is we will not be doing in-house testing. What they are going to do is they are going to set up a trailer, and people will have to have a doctor's order to be tested now.
So what are they having to do? Obviously, they don't want them going to the doctor's office. How are these people supposed to get this?
Well, no, they want them to come in because we will still do our standard testing first.
Okay.
As far as like the flu testing, the strep testing. Then if these come back negative, what we are doing is then we are doing the orders for the COVID to be done.
Okay.
Which we will give the patient. They will go to the trailer system that will be set up. They will have staff there that will now be gowns, gloves, masks, the whole 9 yards, goggles. They will meet you at your window of your vehicle. You won't even get out of your vehicle. You will hand them the order from the physician. And they will now swab you right there in your vehicle. It will be sent off. The results they are hoping will be back to us within 2 to 4 days.
All right, so
and we will dive right on out.
And really, if you don't need to have the test results to do the right thing, right?
No, because once we send them to have the swab, we are quarantined.
All right, and that's a self-quarantine, correct? At home?
That will be quarantined by medical staff.
All right, so let me see if I got this straight for our listeners. We're talking to Kim right now. She's in the medical field. She's our contact for what's going on. What we have now is... Now, are they testing up these... Are they bringing out these mobile sites yet that we've heard the president talk about at Walmarts and Walgreens and CVS's?
I've not heard of those. It's mainly, I believe, medical facilities right now. They're like trailering.
All right. Is this just the facility you work at or other facilities?
As of right now, it's just ours that I have heard of.
Well, I'm just going to give people this information that it's in Michigan City. So if you go into Michigan City and you feel sick and you go to where Kim is out of, they will, let me see if I get this right. You come in, you get tested for just our regular flu season stuff. And if them come back negative, then the doctor will give you a doctor's order to go out to a trailer. They will come up to you. You don't even get out of your car. They will swab your mouth or however they're doing it. Is it a mouth swab?
Nasal swab.
Nasal. They will stick a swab up your nose hole, swab that out, and then that will be sent off, and it will be back in, 2 to 4 days, you said?
They said 2 to 4.
2 to 4 days, which is a lot quicker than what it was going.
Yes.
All right. I heard there are immediate tests coming. Have you heard anything about that?
We've not been notified of that as of yet.
All right, because I heard them talking about that today, and I read that today, that they're working on getting immediate tests. But like I also read and heard physicians say that if you don't need the results, if you are getting tested or you don't have the flu, you don't have strep throat, you don't have these things, you can quarantine yourself, because at this point, Kim, what are the treatments for it? Is there any?
The difference really, it's really hard to decipher because they are so similar to your flus, your streps.
My question is, though,
I mean, there's a few differences, but not a whole lot, really. I mean,
how are they treating this? There's no treatment, correct?
for which one?
For the Kung Fu flu.
That I do not know how they're doing that, because usually if they come back, I believe they do hospitalize them.
Oh, I know they hospitalize, but as of right now, I get tested at the facility or the trailer or wherever the test sites are going to be set up. In this case, where you are, I get tested. What happens to me then? Do they send me home to self-quarantine?
Yes.
Now, what if I have family at home? Do I go to a room?
Everybody will be quarantined.
So the whole household quarantine?
Yes.
That means what? No one comes in, no one goes out.
Bingo.
Can you let Harry know what quarantine means, please? So that's an inside joke, guys. So basically, you go get tested. You ain't gonna have the results for 2 to 4 days, but if it's where they're testing you, it's automatic self quarantine.
Yes.
Until the results come back.
Mm-hmm.
And now I'm hearing after you're done showing symptoms, you can still spread the virus up to 14 days after you're symptom free.
I believe that is accurate.
That's what I heard from the CDC.
Yeah, I believe that is the accuracy.
So we're just trying to keep everyone, and I know we don't have tons of listeners, but we're talking facts here. I know maybe they're not facts, but I'm telling you what we're told. So we're just trying to give you information as we get it. So as of right now, you get tested for just the regular things. Now, there's no reason to be panicky if you do have symptoms. Most people that have symptoms, 80% they're saying, Kim, are just going to have mild symptoms to some discomfort, but will not have to be hospitalized, correct?
Correct.
And then 20% they're saying will have to be hospitalized, and then 5% they're expecting death at the numbers we're having now and what we're getting from China. That 5% death rate, that's unbelievable.
Yeah.
So it's real and it's not a joke. It's just how many people are going to get infected and what's the mortality rate, just like we've been saying.
Right.
And really, the infection number really don't matter. What really matters is the mortality rate.
Yeah.
That's what's going to make or break us. If we're going to carry it, like, I mean, H1N1, that's a yearly thing now, right?
I haven't heard a lot about that lately. But it goes, I believe, kind of in with like the basic flu symptoms, far as that would go.
But now we have antibodies that will protect us from that. Our body's seen it before. The majority of the population. So the bad part of this is, guys, is that we've never seen this before. Yes, there's different kinds of coronavirus, human coronavirus, which we've seen for years. Correct, Kim?
Yes.
But this strain, which I believe to be a bioweapon released in accidentally or on purpose, I don't know, in China, we've never seen this before. So that's what makes it so dangerous. We don't know how infectious it is, and we don't know the death rate. We know what the regular flu does, and it has a large up to what, 70,000 a year.
Yeah, about 79
can die from the flu, but we never talk about that. Now, if them numbers are what it is, then it's just like a regular flu. But either way, there's no need to panic. There's nothing you can do but self-quarantine at this point, correct?
Correct.
All right. Any other news you got for us?
That's the latest we've gotten so far. I check my emails daily to see if anything new comes across. That was the latest for today.
But as of now, you have seen none positive at your facility. Well, that's a good thing. As always, we take our hats off to you, people in the medical field, the nurses, doctors, even the triage people, the people that are billing, these people that are in there just doing their job for us. Our prayers go out to you, and we thank you for what you're doing. Paramedics, cops, EMT, firemen, all you guys, we appreciate everything you do and that you do for us, and our prayers go out to you. Thank you so much, Kim, and we'll try to get a hold of you tomorrow. Hopefully you can give us a call and give us an update tomorrow. All righty, thank you, and you be safe, hon.
All
right, bye-bye. Thank you so much.
Bye.
Tell Harry I said hi.
Okay.
And tell him stay away. All right. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye. All right, that's Kim. She's letting us know what's going on, where she's at. Anybody have any questions, any comments, anything? You go ahead and give us a call in. We'll wait a few minutes and let somebody call in, then we'll give Steve a call. And as you know, Steve's usually when we end the broadcast. So our number is 21. It's up on the screen right now on the top of on the chat. The number is 219-380-9918. If you have any questions, if you disagree with us, if you have a theory on this virus, or if you have something totally opposite to talk or something to talk about other than this virus, please call in. Any theories on anything that's going on, your opinions about Donald Trump, your opinions about the Democrats, about the debates, about Bernie Sanders, anything. That's what we're here for. We're here to talk. And especially if you're self-quarantined, sometimes it's nice just to have a conversation with somebody and get involved. We want our listeners to be as involved as possible. So you can give us a call. It's 219-380-9918. 219-380-9918. You can give us a call. Is McEwen out there? Mr. Brian McEwen, are you out there? I'm waiting for the chat to come up, so I guess not. But if you are, let me know there, Brian. So, Justin, you're quarantined. How you feeling about the whole thing, buddy?
It's exhausting.
Yeah, it's not the funnest thing. It is a boring thing. Luckily, me and Justin have a ton of work to do with a business venture that we're doing, but that's physical work and that's exhausting. So then you come in here and when you're quarantined, you're thinking about the virus constantly because you can't go nowhere, can't do nothing. My wife and I were talking today how good it's going to be, and guys, it's only been this is day 4. It's only been 4 days and I'm already dying for fast food. We were talking about, me and my wife are fast food connoisseurs, and we were just thinking how good Burger King would taste right now, but we're not going to venture out. We're going to stick to it and see what goes on, and hopefully here in 30 days, everybody can call us a fool for not heading out. But damn, I want some Burger King, Taco Bell, McDonald's, anything. Fat ass is hungry. Mama's hungry. Fuck Justin. We give him some fries. Daddy needs a Whopper. But yeah, we.
I need an original crispy chicken.
Yes, that does sound good. And see, this is what you do when you're quarantined. You think about the food you don't have. We have food. We have food I like to eat. But, man, you always want what you can't have. Like Charlize Theron. All right. We're going to go ahead. No one's called. We're going to go ahead and call my buddy, my friend, my cousin, Mr. Steve. Now, Steve is a character, but he knows his shit. He knows what's going on. He understands what's going on. And just like Joe, just like me, he has some theories that I don't agree with. But for the most part, I think he's right on. But he also can bring, he always seems to keep a sense of humor no matter what the circumstances, no matter how bad they are. Been through a lot of good times with Steve, and we've been through a lot of hard times together, and he always seems to bring a smile on everybody's face. that's around him. And sometimes he can bring make your jaw drop by what he says. But let's give him a call and see what's going down. Oh, look who it is.
Mr. Mike.
Mr. Steve.
No, I think you have the wrong number. This is Kenny.
Hello, Kenny. I'm at the Kmart parking lot. How you doing, buddy?
Not bad. How about you?
I'm doing pretty good. When I talk to you, I know the show's almost over, and I can go sit in my easy chair and recline. So
I hear you.
So what's going on, man? What are you hearing? What are you seeing? What's going on?
Well, I first jumped on the phone. I first turned the show on. I got interrupted. I got a phone call from my son.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, he's having ex-girlfriend problems.
Oh, no.
Oh, yeah. Well, what it amounts to is his son is around his stepson that is getting sick, and he was at Kessling School, and the rumor's out that there was COVID there.
And this is just a rumor, everybody. We don't want to start nothing. This is a rumor,
right.
And I'm sure your son wants to take precautions just in case
right.
the rumor is true.
Right.
All right.
So at the end of the day, she took the kid where he didn't want him to go, and my son ended up going to get him, and now his wife and his infant, she went over to her mother's. So I guess he's going to be self-quarantined at home with his son.
Well,
and he told her, he said, are you out of your mind? What are you doing? And she made the statement, she says, well, if I'm going to die, I'm going to die with my family. That's totally crazy.
Well, and that's what I'm seeing as a lot of people aren't taking this serious. It sounds like your son's taking it. If he's wrong, he's wrong. Everybody's okay, and what did he do that was wrong? But if God forbid, if we're right, and something is, it is as bad as they're saying, that could have cost, someone their life.
Yeah, he's saying at the end of the day, for too long, not at the end of this day, but, the end of the day, which is probably only a week away, we're thinking we're all going to get quarantined at home.
Well, they're saying watch for a 90-day isolation period, which that means you're inside. You ain't going nowhere. But if you go outside, and you know what, Steve, I love our community, I love our town, I love our city, and I love our state. But right. I see some stupid people out there, and maybe not stupid, maybe just ignorant, having their babies out in strollers. Well, first of all, it's too cold for a freaking stroller in my book to have a baby out. But out in strollers, kids walking the town, kids spending the night with each other. I have a feeling that these parents are going to be kicking themselves in the ass before this is over.
Exactly, which is basically what's going on with my son. He didn't want him around the other kids,
Yep.
And that happened, so he wanted the kid to stay at his grandmother's, and that didn't end up happening, so he ended up going to get the kid himself, brought him home, and self-quarantined him at home, and that's it.
Well, we'll be praying for him, and hopefully everything works out. You know what? Hopefully this ain't as bad as what they're saying, and we can get this going again. Trump seemed awful optimistic in his address today. So I mean, what else is he going to be? Oh, we're going to die. I understand that. But he's calling for a 15-day, stay home. Don't do stupid stuff. If you got to go to work, go to work. And speaking of work, what's going on with you, buddy?
Oh, it was eventful.
Last night, and we're not going to go into because I don't want people to figure out where you're at. But did you make a decision on what you were doing?
I'm going to probably pick up 1 or 2 days because it's close. No one's there other than other employees.
Now, do you have that luxury of picking that, okay, I only want to work 1 or 2 days? I don't want to be there every day of the week?
Well, as we speak, I'm on my off days. I told him I would be back unless you tell me otherwise.
All right.
And I'm quite sure I don't think that's going to be, I don't know, it might be for a whole 8 hours, maybe not.
We just talked to Joe. I don't know if you were listening when Joe was on.
No,
yeah, he would have drove you nuts.
I started to, right, I got interrupted.
Yeah, he would have drove you nuts tonight. He was talking about the border and the wall and how he didn't want it. And he
doesn't want the wall?
Yeah, he don't agree with the wall. And that's okay. I mean, I don't expect him to agree. We don't agree on, a lot of things. We agree on the, we agree on certain things. We disagree on others, just like me and you do. But he knows how I feel about it, and
to me, that's what defines a country: borders, language, and culture.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
And I'm gonna tell you, mass extinction is these cities. An example, California. They're all over New York. I'm sure in Chicago, but the biggest ones are, out in California, Southwest, 10 cities.
Yeah.
The homeless. Once this coronavirus gets in them, it's going to wipe them all out. I'm telling you.
Oh, man, there's something needs to be done. Because, a lot of people look at the homeless and say, oh, they made the choice. Well, there's a lot of homeless people that didn't make the choice, that are sick individuals. And there's a lot of veterans out there that are homeless, sad to say. And, it's I think good either way is going to come of this. If it's nothing, at least we learned a little bit about hygiene and how to keep ourselves from getting the flu. For me, handshaking's out of the question from now on. I mean,
for a while.
Yeah, well, I'm done with it. And I think next year, if we do this, even if this turns out to be nothing, but we've learned how to keep from being sick, I think it could change even the mortality rate of just the regular flu. I think good things can come of it if it's not as bad as they say, and I think good things can come if it is as bad as they say. We need to take it as a learning experience.
That's gonna be one culture. It's gonna be hard for me to break, is shaking somebody's hand.
Yeah, well, right now it's and I've done it all my life. We were raised basically by the same people, so we were taught to be polite and courteous. And I know people that know me as an adult and now don't. Bullshit. But when we were kids, believe me, you didn't fuck around.
No.
You would have got taken out behind the woodshed.
Oh, yeah, if you were lucky enough to make it that far.
And then you'd get beat with the woodshed.
Yeah. That ain't no kidding.
But so that's what they did give you a choice, though, right, Steve? It's not like they're forcing you to do it, or are they like?
No, they're not. They're not forcing us. No. At the end of the day, there's going to be a sign-up list for people that want to sign up, and mind you, it's it's all overtime.
Yeah.
All of it.
Yeah.
All of it. It don't matter if you work 2 days, 4 days, whatever.
Yeah.
You know. And you know, them money mongers are going to be all over that.
Oh, buddy. Yeah. I mean, I would be.
I imagine I can get 1 or 2 days, maybe a week.
All right, because we're seeing a lot of things. Like everybody knows. I've said, my wife. The bars are closed. My wife worked at a bar.
They're all closed down, eh?
There's a lot of people, and with just drive-through open and delivery open at some restaurants, they're not needing the crew that they normally would need.
Right. I wonder what about
I'm wondering with the casinos, like, they have a buffet and they have a cleaning crew and they have restaurants. I'm sure them people don't work.
No, them are all shut down.
There's a lot of people that don't have work right now, and that's why, Steve, we're also trying to give people places where they can get help if they need food or their kids need lunch and stuff like that. Justin was supposed to get that information for me. I don't know if he ever got it.
I heard you say earlier he's quarantined.
Who, Justin?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's quarantined with us.
Okay.
So we're on day 4 out of 30. So, and I'm going to tell you folks what, if we get it, there ain't no protecting yourself. Because I'm going to tell you what, my wife, regardless, people, we're going to have to go out and get the staples of life, milk, bread. We're going to have to do this stuff. Austin and Carrie, my wife, and my son went out to get just some staples that we need, that we're not short on. I mean, like, because we have little ones in the house, and we had 2 gallons of milk, so we figured we couldn't get no milk because there was none in the store, but before you're hurting for it, I'd rather go get 1 instead of having to go get 4, to let 3 other people get a gallon of milk. That's how we should be buying things. Not when we're hurting for it, but before we're hurting for it, so we don't have to buy so many at this point. Like toilet paper.
Right.
You need 1 pack. We still couldn't get toilet paper today. And we're starting to run really low.
Really?
Yeah, well, low for our house.
To get that, you're going to have to be at Walmart at 6 a.m.
Yeah. Well, anyway, like I was saying, they went out to get just a few things, and they didn't go to. They went to a store with absolutely no one in it. All right. They were covered. Yeah. Their faces were covered. They wore gloves. Everything. I made them take our procedure is take the clothes off at the door outside, and we'll spray your hands and your shoes and stuff with bleach. Then you can come in, take a shower, and put on clean clothes. And then them clothes go into a garbage bag downstairs, put right in the washing machine, we wash them. So we're going overboard. All right? Okay. So if we get it, if anyone gets it within our household, there is no protecting yourself from it.
Right.
And that's why I'm doing this. I'm seeing, because if we're going to get it in quarantine, I'll let everybody know, hey, this self-quarantine shit, it don't work. We went above and beyond. So, and that's what I want to see. Plus, I want to protect my family.
Now, what I've learned, this what we're calling COVID-19. It's actually SARS-CoV-2, really, is what it is. Because it's an assembled nanoparticle. This thing is. It's an assembled nanoparticle with HIV as its carrier, as we know.
Well, we listen, guys. If you got it, you don't have HIV. There's injection points, and what Steve is saying, and tomorrow
HIV carrier.
I will have the report that this biologist and an institute in India, and there's been others that have studied this virus and say, yes, it is man-made, it is a bioweapon. There is 4 points, basically where a needle has went into this, where they've added to it.
Exactly.
And it is not that the coronavirus itself was man-made, but this particular strain, stuff was added to it to make it more deadly.
Exactly. Which started from the coronavirus from a bat.
From bats. Now bats,
and they started adding to it, yeah.
And
word has it was actually made here.
And well, we know that there was 2 Chinese citizens that was at the University, I believe, of North Carolina, that was studying it in mice, and they stole it from that university. And also what we know, which is, I don't think it's a coincidence, is a professor who's under arrest right now from Harvard, the head of the lab, the biology center there. He had a lot to do with the setup of the Wuhan Level 4 biolab. That
right, and a lot of people don't understand what a Level 4 lab is.
A Level 4 lab should be underground, not above ground. And that's so dangerous. I don't know what state the Level 4 lab that they're building in, like Kansas, I believe the state is. But it's above ground and everybody's complaining. Well, they should. Because they should be underground, contained, hermetically sealed, where nothing can get out and nothing can get in. But this in Wuhan, it wasn't the wet market this come from. It come from this lab. And this doctor that allowed Chinese people to come into the lab, well, he released a lot of this coronavirus to them. And he had a lot to do with the setup of the Wuhan biological lab. This is fact. You can look it up on, this is even on Google. So if you know it's on Google, you can get it anywhere. You can go to DuckDuckGo. You can go anywhere. That's where we like to go and search things. But also, if the thing about it is, I brought up the Indian lab, India, this biologist, and anybody, and there's been more than one, anyone who studies it sees that it's man-made, it's a bioweapon, they write a report on it, they put it online, and instantly it's taken offline.
Yep, instantly. You're not allowed to talk about it.
If that's, and this is true, it's absolutely true that it's taken offline. Why?
Yeah.
Why? There is so many, it's because it's false information. There's so much false information about that. Today I heard you could get it, people are saying that you could get it from talking to somebody on your cell phone.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know. But we do have a breaking report about India. They have learned how to treat the coronavirus. So they say. People, this is not real. I mean, it's real. It's a real story. But what a bunch of kooks. They in India, some more and more are doing it, are taking baths in cow dung mixed with water, and they think that's going to cure the coronavirus, and also drinking cow urine. So,
oh my God, that would do nothing but make it worse.
So that's what they're doing. So if wow,
I mean, you can cough this coronavirus out, and it lives for up to 8 hours.
Yeah.
It'll land on the doorknob, the surface, and it'll dry up, sit there, then it becomes sticky.
Yeah.
And you touch it, and it sticks to your skin.
Well, it's it can live up to at least 12 hours on metal, I believe, on a metal surface. At least. It can live longer than that.
But once it hits your skin, it starts coming back to life.
Well, then you rub your mouth or your nose or anywhere where you have mucous membranes, and then you have it.
And then you got it.
So,
but the Journal of American Medical Association put out an article back in February of 2020.
All right.
And they studied 4 patients. Now, they're claiming the problem with this coronavirus, there's not enough follow-up. So they done follow-up on these 4 patients.
Yeah.
That contracted the virus, and they were hospitalized and quarantined. Well, when they were deemed, hey, you're positive now, you're cured, you can go, the hospital asked them, please follow the self-quarantine at home for the next 5 days. So they did. And after that was done, the Journal of American Medical Association tested them. These 4 people from 5 to 13 days later after they'd left. And all of them
still was carrying.
All of them tested positive as carriers.
Well, the thing is they're saying
this was after they were they were treated,
and they had no symptoms.
They were not asymptomatic at all.
So, and that's what Kim and I were talking about, is that you can be cured. You can be feeling back to normal, be back to normal, and still carry this up to 14 days and give it to somebody else.
Yeah, now this was from 5 to 13 days later, they checked these 4. And they checked them 3 different times with the same test.
Yeah.
With the very same test, so they figured, oh, well, we'll just switch the tests. And these patients, again, were treated 3 different times.
Well, now I believe that to get out of quarantine, the people that are infected have to test 3 times negative before they can even leave.
Right.
So
for the symptoms, right?
No, for the test. They have to have the test done, and it has to come back negative 3 times before they're allowed out of quarantine.
Yeah. Well, there's going to be a lot of people in hospitals for the rest of their lives then.
Nah, there already has been people released, so I don't know. Maybe you are a permanent carrier. I don't know.
Well, according to the JAMA, I call it, Journal of American Medical Association, these subjects were again tested by a different test by a different manufacturer, 3 different times again, 15 days, and they were still tested positive.
Well, I don't want to speculate on that because I don't want to give people no hope. It's better to have hope than no hope. But yeah, I'll have to look that up. I haven't read anything on that. I thought I researched enough to come on, but I haven't heard that yet. So
yeah, and most people don't know it. On the news and everything, we're calling it COVID-19, but the actual name of it is SARS-CoV-2.
Yeah, I think it's called COVID-19 because it's coronavirus 2019.
Yeah.
And because it is a different strain that has different added amino acids to it.
Yeah, and the reason that they're saying that it has the same carrier that HIV is, it's like an HIV virus. You can carry HIV virus in your body for the rest of your life and never get AIDS.
Oh, yeah?
Well, sure.
You're saying that these people will never get rid of it. They'll always be a carrier.
Going by what this journal says.
Well, I'll have to look that up.
There's not enough as of 2020 now.
I will.
As of February 2020.
I will look it up and I'll do some research and let the people know tomorrow. But as far as the lighter side, how are you feeling about? Have you been to the grocery store today?
Not today. No, I came home and I said no. I've done me the beer in bed thing. I had me like 3 beers and I sat there and pounded down a bunch of cabbage and
cabbage and beer. All right, I'm glad I'm not going to be around you tonight.
Boy, what an explosion, buddy! No, I didn't overdo it on either one except the cauliflower. I mounded that down.
Well, good. But
it's actually good for you to eat vegetables like that.
Yeah,
grape juice, of course, which is really good for your liver.
Hey, I have a question for you. I know we're on the air and stuff. I'm gonna ask: is Craig listening to this?
I don't think so.
No, okay. I know I always send it to him, but he sends me something else. I know he's I think he's real big on Marfugal too.
Yeah, Marfugal. Yes, he is real big on him.
But we'll I think tomorrow we'll talk a little bit about Marfugal and how he got his start. I think you'll find that real interesting.
Really?
Yeah, it's
I tried listening to him from time to time, but
yeah, he's good. He's good. I mean, he's like us. He has a big following now because of how he got his start, but he's having financial troubles with this channel because, like you said, he don't work. This is his job, and
exactly,
and people got to realize you enjoy the show on YouTube for free. You got to help support these guys who are doing this and have no other income. If you enjoy the show and you enjoy the information and use it as your news source because the alternative media is the only true media anymore. You need to support them. And I'm not begging for money for me. I'm just saying that if you enjoy the shows, you need to help these guys out because it's not a cheap hobby. And you know what? It takes a lot of time. We're only on here for a couple hours a day right now. Couple hours on a regular time. We're only on Saturdays. But we have 5, 6, 7 people involved in the production, and they're taking their time and giving it for free. Now, we're not begging for money, we're not asking, but help and support helps. We're trying to do a good thing. We're trying to get this stuff out there and help inform, and we're small right now. Right now I know we have 6 whole people watching and listening.
Yeah.
But by the end of tomorrow, 30 people would be watching. And like our first video, almost 100 people watched. I mean, and we'll grow, and we'll have, you know, something will come up, and we might blow up. We don't know. But
True.
the thing is that these people like Marfugel, who are out there, and he's right in the midst of it. He's in Washington State, and he's broke a lot of things. And tomorrow we'll get into that, Steve. I think you'll find it interesting. Let me know when you're up, and I'll give Joe a call. Joe's really up on Marfugel and knows.
Okay, yeah. I'm not into Marfugel as much as Craig is.
But he's a good guy. He's and he tells it like we do. I mean, if you don't know, he don't know.
You know, I got so many other ones I'm listening to. I thought, geez, how am I going to squeeze this one in?
Today, really, man, we and I'll tell the other people. I mean, it's overwhelming when this is what you're doing, and you're doing research on it. And I know we're covering this Kung Fu Flu a bunch, but that's the news, man. I mean, that's what's going on. That's the topic. It's hard not to talk about it when you're quarantining yourself, and you know you got 26 more days to be inside and not go nowhere. It's hard to get your mind wrapped around anything else. But today we just had to shut off the TV, and me and my two sons, older sons that live with, I have 4 sons and 1 daughter that live with me, and I have a daughter-in-law and my grandson and my daughter, my wife, and another individual living with us. And it's, you know, we went out in the garage, me and my sons, my older sons, and are in the shop where we work, and we just did a bunch of work today. We just had to get our minds off this whole Corona thing, because it's scary. It's overwhelming.
What do you do in your shop?
We will talk about that off the air.
Oh, okay. We will talk about that off the air. I thought you were into like woodworking and stuff like that.
No, not woodworking at all. But we'll talk about that off the air. I'll let you know the business we are dabbling in right now.
Yeah, I was going to say, if it's, you know, woodworking, you can run a few pointers here and there. You know where to come.
Yeah, Steve and his late father were excellent woodworkers. Steve is, and his father was before he passed.
I think my dad would have been really proud.
Oh,
if
yeah.
He's seen some of the things that I've done.
Oh, and my sons still talk about when we stopped by your house and saw all your stuff that you have out there, the tables and stuff that you were making.
Yeah, I you know, my sister calls it my icon project. You know, it was that baby crib that I made for my grandson.
Oh yeah.
I don't know if you'd.
Yeah, I saw it.
Yeah, okay. I was going to say, I don't know if you'd ever seen it, but that was all handmade out of rough lumber that was in a pile. I run it through my planer, and
Steve don't like to toot his own horn at all.
Well, no, I'm just basically giving you an idea of how much I had to go through to make this. And insult to injury, it was black locust, and that stuff there, it makes oak wood look like balsa wood. It really does.
Really?
Oh my God, you can't run a screw in it. Nothing. You might get away with a tap con.
Okay.
That goes into concrete, but that's about it.
Yep.
And that is no joke. You can't, even with an air gun, forget it. Nope. Any kind of hole or a fastener is going to be drilled and screwed.
Wow, that's hard.
That's some tough stuff.
But anyway, Steve, hey, we're gonna get off here. My son just come in and said he needed me, so I'm going to get off the air. It's been almost, how long's it been? Almost 3 hours. I'm gonna get off here. I will give you a call here shortly.
In the meantime, I'm going to touch base with my son and pick up where we left off.
All right.
you're going to be up a while, right? I'll send you a flag.
All right, buddy. Well, we'll talk to you later, Steve. You be careful. You take care, and protect yourself as much as you can. I know it's hard, but do the best you can.
Yeah, well, you know me. I'm not worried because I make $1,000 a day.
Yes, you do. In Kmart parking lot.
Yeah.
I wonder where that douchebag hangs out now that Kmart's closed.
Oh, that guy has stopped smoking, everything.
Really?
It's unbelievable. Yeah, and he always was really big into fishing. He works, believe it, at a chicken farm.
Oh.
And he's got some interesting stories, actually.
He's always had some interesting stories.
Yeah, he's actually a nice guy.
He is a very nice guy, but you can't take away stupid.
Yeah, I know it. I think he got the eraser out and done that himself over the last few years.
Yeah, this guy was a joker, man.
He was a gem, yeah.
His name, we won't say his last name, but his name is Kenny.
Yeah, he was telling me what it was like going in and out of that chicken factory. Unbelievable.
Oh, it is. He's still living around here?
No, he's in Tennessee.
Oh, wow.
But when you get there, you got to strip right down to nothing. Take a shower, get into your work clothes that are provided for you there.
Really?
Go in and do your job, and when you come back out, you go through the same process going back out.
Wow.
Come out of those clothes, take a shower.
Degree faster at Purdue.
Get into your clothes, take the clothes that they provided, and it goes into a bag.
Wow.
Yeah, that's just a chicken farm.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
I said, yeah, that's what I said. Wow. I said, man, we had security at prison and stuff, but not like that.
Well, we worked at the duck farm there in Springville when it was open, and there was nothing like that. But hey, Steve, we'll have a new topic tomorrow. I'm going to get off here. It's time to go. I want to thank you for being on the show. We'll talk to you tomorrow, and just want to let everybody know, thanks for tuning in. Be safe out there. Take precautions, and God be with you. That's all we got for tonight on In Your Face of Fisher. And Steve, thanks for being on the show, buddy.
All right, partner. Thanks.
All right, we'll talk to you later. And for the rest of you, God be with you. We're praying for y'all.
And we're praying for all of us in the U.S.
Yes, everyone. Thank you so much, guys. And have a great night. See you next time.
Bye-bye.